Welcome back to The Boys in the Iceberg, the podcast where we watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. As always, I'm Caleb Bader.
And I'm Harley Davis.
And we're inching along to the end of the series. You don't like that? You just made a face at me? You don't make a face at me.
I didn't make a face at you at all.
We're inching along to the end of the series.
have no proof.
I feel like that's a perfectly reasonable thing to say.
No proof that I made a face.
How many episodes do we have left?
We have a few.
And we're moving along at a fairly slow pace. We're inching. We're getting close there.
I don't think we're inching.
I think that it's inching.
Maybe.
I don't know. We're watching a couple episodes.
We have watched a couple episodes. We are not currently watching a couple episodes.
No. But we want... Which one are the ones we watched today?
I haven't even pulled up the wiki.
No, yeah. We usually have all
the
this
Western
set
Air
up.
Temple.
The Western Air Temple.
And something else.
And the dragon.
The dragon? Just dragon.
Enter Dragon.
Enter the Dragon.
Yes.
Was it Crouching Tiger? No.
Hidden Dragon.
Hidden Dragon.
Great. It's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
The tiger is crouching in that scenario.
Are you sure it's the Western Air Temple?
Yeah, it's the Western Air Temple. It's the upside down one that you thought was dumb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is pretty dumb.
Not the episode, the design.
We'll get into that later, though. So, this first episode opens up right where we left off, basically.
It does. They're just trekking. They're just inching along in the desert.
Yeah, a perfectly reasonable use of that word.
And they're all worn out.
We got... So we see that all the kids that had taken off after the battle have now been rendered to the ground because Appa can't carry everybody.
Yeah, well, also, there's 1,000 of them, and he has that thing of armor on him.
Yeah, he's pretty tired at this point.
Why does he still have the armor on?
I don't know. They could have taken it off. I don't think it's necessary.
They do take it off when they get there.
Yes.
Like, why didn't they just take it off beforehand?
I guess that they want to keep it because Sokka did spend a lot of time working on that.
Sokka sucks. Actually, I like Sokka a lot.
Yeah, he's a lot better than any. Well, no, I think Toph's the most reasonable in this episode, but still pretty angry with her.
Are you on the same thing I'm on?
What?
Is mine just mobile friendly?
Yeah, we went over this last week.
I'm just
we literally
because you
did
have
the same exact thing.
You have adverts up here. Go scroll.
Harley, this is not good podcasting.
I don't care. Scroll.
This is not good podcasting.
They can't see this, but why do they have all that? Why do you have all this?
Harley, why are we talking about this right now?
That's fair.
We'll talk about it
did you watch the new
afterwards.
Game of Thrones episode the other day?
No, and I wouldn't.
Why? You don't like Game of Thrones?
Okay, so they're trekking across
He doesn't like Game of Thrones.
Not really. They're trekking across the desert and trying to get to the Western Air Temple. They're looking around for it, and they can't see it anywhere.
Toph finds it, though, with her...
Because she sees it.
All-seeing feet. She says, we're there. And they pan out, and it shows a giant picture, or a giant view of the Western Air Temple, and this is...
It's like built into a cliff face, and all the buildings are upside down.
It's a cool concept, but I agree with Caleb. The buildings are dumb. It'd be really cool if it was built into a cliffside like that, and nobody could get to it. Like, nobody would know it's there, ever.
Yeah, I would really like that if that was the case.
But the buildings were dumb.
So basically like the old style of Chinese building pagodas or whatever. What are they called? They got it's a really unique style. You know what we're talking about. But they're built so that the shingles will just carry water out away from the building. And these are the exact opposite of that. And it's just, I don't like it. But we do see Zuko. He shows back up, and he's already like rappelling down into the temple.
He's the first one there. And you made a good point about this is another airbending temple that you don't have to be an airbender to get to, because it not only shows Zuko rappelling into it this time, but it showed that him and his uncle were there previously.
Yeah, he's already been there previously.
As soon as he got his face burned, him and his uncle were there. Probably to hunt down the Avatar immediately.
So...
You think they just checked every single one of the air temples?
Yeah, probably in the beginning. I guarantee that's what happened. But, Zuko goes down there, and he's interrupted. So he gets a flashback where him and Iroh are, like, standing there, and he's like, my destiny, honor. And Iroh's like, listen to me, Zuko. And that's basically all the flashback is. And then Avatar and the gang show up.
That's their relationship in season 1 as a whole.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just Zuko going,
destiny,
honor.
Zuko, listen.
Zuko, please. I'm wise.
Zuko, no. Zuko, yes.
But yeah, he's interrupted because the gang of children now have made their way down to the temple.
Yeah, it's no longer Team Avatar. Like, Team Avatar's there, but we also have Haru, the handicapped dude, the Duke. I don't know why.
I never liked that they were there.
On the handicapped dude's name,
Teo.
Teo.
Yeah, Teo.
Teo.
Yeah.
It's Teo.
I never really liked that they were there. I think that they should not be there because they're not my hashtag not my team avatar.
They don't need to be your team avatar. They're not team avatar.
Yeah, good, but just get rid of them.
Why though?
I just never liked the fact that they were there. I want our core group to be there and no one else.
Well, they're at the time they were running. They're away from the battle. Like
Harley, I completely understand.
What do they do with those guys? Are they going to drop them off somewhere? Or what?
I think they're going to take them. I don't know because
they're not
they don't
part
all
of.
live.
They're not part of Team Avatar now. They're just doing stuff.
Yeah, I think that they just need to get rid of those other kids though. I don't like that they're there.
There's only 3 of them too. Like, why is such a small amount?
You have to be in the mic a little bit. I didn't say like
make up your mind.
I didn't say sit back in your chair.
Is this what you want from me, Caleb?
No, that's too close again. I said,
oh my lord!
Just like right here. It's not that difficult.
You want me in your mic? You want me over there?
No,
you said right here.
Just get this about this.
Make
close.
up your mind.
I hate you so much.
Is this good?
Yeah, right that. But don't talk. Okay, look. Turn around a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Now get like here, so you're talking across from the mic. Like and just talking even tones. Don't like throw your voice up here.
I'm so hungry.
I don't care. Okay. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Okay, so I just want those kids gone. Like, I don't really know why they're there.
I'm so sorry.
Oh. Okay, so they show up there and they're making their home there. Zuko at this point has gone up above, like I don't even like at the cliffside, and he's got like a little base camp there because he wants to like join Team Avatar and train train Aang, but he doesn't know exactly how to approach them.
Yeah, that's his whole idea right now is to join the gang and train Aang so he can defeat his dad or defeat Zuko's dad, but. There's 2 seasons of Zuko chasing down Aang and trying to murder them. And also, he hired an assassin.
Well,
they don't know that
They don't know that quite yet.
But he hired an assassin to assassinate them.
Yeah, so eventually he makes his way down there, and he's like, hey. Oh, yeah, because they're not expecting him. And Toph actually brings it up. I don't remember exactly what they're talking about. She's like, oh, we might need to hold off talking about this. We're not alone. And then Appa gets out of the way, and Zuko's standing there. And Appa goes over and licks him right in the face.
Well, his whole body, really.
Yeah, and so Aang's like, he sees that. He's like, wait, what's going on?
Why does Appa like Zuko? And if you remember right, last time we saw the Blue Spirit, he was he was in front of Appa, and they were doing things. I forget where I was going with that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, no, when we saw the Blue Spirit in Iroh, and Appa was chained up by the Dai Li?
Yeah, and Zuko does let him out, and I think so. Appa remembers that, and Aang sort of sees that for a second. He's like, "Wait a second," but
which I feel like helps. You mentioned in the next episode that Zuko and Aang are kind of buddy.
Well, yeah, let's wait on that.
Now, hold on, and I think that kind of helps with hey, Appa, my best friend, is kind of
of course it does.
He approves of Zuko. I think that kind of helps with that.
But initially, Sokka's like, "Get out of here. We don't want you." Katara is being her usual dumb self. And
Katara attacks him.
Yeah.
She throws water at him.
Well, because Zuko, I mean, right, I sort of am inclined to believe Zuko, and not just because we've shown that he actually had a change of heart, but he's being very, like, reasonable, and he's like, I'm sorry I did this. Like, please let me help.
And not only that, but Toph can tell people are telling the truth, like when they're being sincere.
And she doesn't say anything.
She doesn't say anything until after he leaves.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Extremely frustrating. It's not the only time she says something, or when there's a chance she can say something that she doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
in this episode,
they do that a lot in this episode. There's a whole bunch of like, if someone would just say what they're thinking, all the problems would be completely erased.
And I hate that because it doesn't. To me, it takes me out of the show when I see things like that. Like, it's supposed to instill dramatic, like, tension.
Yeah.
But it doesn't to me. It takes me out of the show, and I'm like, this could easily be resolved if you just say this. And then I'm just mad at the whole show.
Yeah, and I never liked it. I remember watching it a long time ago. I never liked when they would do that. Because it's just like, just say one thing, and then people will understand. Yeah. They're going to understand.
Like, if she's like, hey, he's telling the truth, they'd be like, oh, he's telling the truth. He's here. All right, Zuko, explain yourself.
But they're like, okay, no, Zuko, leave. And he's like, okay, well, if you won't take me as, like, a companion, take me as a prisoner. And he gets down and puts his arms out. And Katara whips out her water and smacks him in the face.
Yeah, which is rude. First
Yeah,
of all.
and so he's like,
he has not attacked them at all.
Yeah.
At that point.
He's like, okay, I'll leave. And he leaves. And then Toph's like, oh, yeah, he was telling the truth.
It's so dumb.
Of course.
And then Toph makes up a really great argument after that. She's like, you guys are all like missing the key points. Katara says, they attacked her village or whatever. Like they all say they attacked a village. They attacked Appa and whatever. Like whatever. He did a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Season 1, Season 2 stuff. And then Toph's like, well, I wasn't there for most of that. So why don't you just chill out?
Yeah,
we need a firebending teacher for Aang.
She's the most reasonable. Out of all of them.
Like, she's being super logical right now, and she's like, hey, we just got served up a firebending teacher on a silver platter. Obviously, he's good at firebending. We've seen him do it firsthand at us.
Yeah, and so before that, he had mentioned, because he's saying he's sorry he attacked the village. He's sorry that he's been chasing him. He's sorry he sent the assassin to Aang to kill him. And that's the point when they find out that Combustion Man is the guy that Zuko sent after them.
Yeah, I feel like if he might not have said that, he might have stuck around a little bit longer to talk to him.
Yeah. And then they freak out.
Mad.
Which, it's still understandable. I still don't think... Toph is being reasonable. But, so, yeah, Zuko leaves, and so they're sitting around, like, deciding what to do. Because they haven't made up their mind at this point. Toph's being reasonable. But I think they decide to, like, sleep on it or something like that. And during the night, Toph goes up to meet Zuko. In the worst way possible.
It's in the middle of the night. Zuko's asleep, and she just all you hear is rustling.
Yeah,
and like she's coming out of the bushes, and he to defend himself because it's just what he's used to. He's by himself right now.
Yeah, he's
alone and defenseless
in the woods.
He just throws up a thing of fire, and it hits her in the feet.
It burns Toph's
in
eyes.
The feet.
Which is basically her eyes.
And of all places, it had to be the feet.
So understandably, she like freaks out. And she's like trying to get away, and Zuko's like, "No, I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry."
She's at fault here, though.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not helping his case by like trying to like grab her and like keep her there.
No.
But yeah, so she stumbles back. It takes her all night.
It's a really cool way they do it too. She doesn't just show up to the front door. She busts in through a wall.
Yeah,
and it's just crumbled debris, and she just rolls in. And Katara's like, "Oh, I wish you would have gotten to me sooner so I can heal your feet."
Yeah, I really like how they did that because it takes her all night to get back, and so she's. I wonder how many tunnels she made, like in the ground. Like, oh no, this is not the right way, and then had to like turn around and go back the other way.
That'd be depressing. But then that's when Combustion Man shows up because they're icing or they're cooling off. Feet.
So
and the other three Duhas go off. Teo and
the
other two, they leave.
But when Toph gets back, Katara's like, "What happened?" She's like, "I burned my feet," and she's like, "Well, yeah, what happened?" Toph's like, "I told you I burned my feet." So I don't think she's really mad at Zuko at this point. But again, it's one of those things where they figure out Zuko did it. And she's like, did Zuko do this to you? And she's like, yeah. If she would have just said, oh, well, I snuck up on him.
Well, she started up at first. She goes, did Zuko burn you? And she's like, well, he
it's
did,
not
but he
his
didn't.
fault. Yeah.
It's not his fault. And then they almost completely ignore that. They're like, "Did Zuko burn you?" Like they want him to be the bad guy so bad.
But Toph in that moment could have just said, "Well, I snuck up on him. And he was just defending himself."
If she would have just explained the entire scenario step by step to them, then they'd be like, "Oh, that's understandable. Yeah, you're an idiot, Toph."
Yeah. Well, they probably still would have been mad at Zuko, but
that's fair.
I mean, it would have helped me a lot.
But then Combustion Man shows up and he starts attacking them, and you see right before he attacks them, Zuko. You hear the whole dum dum the pop pop thing. And Zuko shows up like Tarzan swinging on a vine, and he tries to tackle Combustion Man.
Well, yeah, first he's like, hey, stop it. I'll pay you double if you just leave them alone and void the contract, basically. And Combustion Man doesn't say anything, of course.
Has he already paid him?
I don't know.
Like the initial amount to get it done?
Maybe.
Or is it paid upon murder?
I don't know about like the contracts of the Fire Nation.
Like he brings the head of Aang back to
yeah.
It's like I've murdered the Avatar. He doesn't talk, so.
But yeah, so apparently Combustion Man's honor is more important than getting paid a lot of money because he still is going after the Avatar.
Honor is such a high commodity in the Fire Nation.
Yeah, it's literally their currency.
That's how they pay it. I'll give you my honor if you destroy the Aang.
Yeah.
I'll give you double my honor.
Zuko doubles the honor offer. Zuko has got his honor back. And, honor is subjective also because Zuko is now more honorable than he has been like trying to capture the Avatar too. But, yeah, so he's trying to fight off the Combustion Man at this point. He, like, gets knocked over a ledge or something. I don't even know.
If he does, oh, God. Combustion Man shoots one of those bolt thingies at him. And Zuko puts up a wall of fire and gets knocked over the cliffside, and he's hanging on by a vine. But the whole time, Combustion Man's still attacking the gang. Well, he's holding his own here. And that's when Toph and Katara and Sokka and Aang are all behind a wall. And Combustion Man's just trying to blow the whole place down. Just trying to kill them all.
Yeah.
Which Aang could fly away. That's no big deal. Appa, also, where's Appa?
I don't know.
Where's Appa?
Did he? Yeah, where did he go? Because he should have been down there.
I have no clue.
Maybe he was out getting food or something, picking up like Chinese takeout or something like that.
But yeah, so they can't get him. So Sokka brings out his boomerang because Katara clearly says, I can't go out there to waterbend him at all. And Toph's dead in the water.
Which is ridiculous.
Because she can't see anything.
Why couldn't she do that?
I don't know. But here's my argument for, well, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. It's an argument towards the show.
Yeah.
I hate that so much because they don't even poke their head out to see if they can do anything. And Aang's an earthbender. Aang's doing nothing in this scenario.
Yeah, he could have just flown up there and fought him.
He could have done so much.
Which I guess they're kind of like scared of Combustion Man because they've seen exactly what he can do, and it's with all of them bending, it's pretty difficult to take him on.
Katara says that, and Sokka's like, well, I can do it. And so he pokes his head around. If he can poke his head around, why can't Katara poke her head around?
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense to me. So he uses his boomerang to, I don't know, see the angle of Combustion Man's...
Oh, yeah, he uses like a mirror.
And then he throws it up there and hits him right in the eye. The
third eye, yeah. Middle of the forehead eye.
And Boomerang comes back, and the Combustion
Which
Man...
is ridiculous. That's not how boomerangs work.
Combustion Man stands back up, goes to do it again, and blows himself to pieces. And we see his arm, his middle arm, fly away.
His middle arm?
Metal
arm. Okay. Yeah, it like...
Metal.
Yeah, you see it come out of like the smoke. So he's effectively blown himself up. He's gone. He's a goner.
And the whole thing that he was standing on actually crumbles to the ground. And then since they're on top of a huge cliff, it falls all the way to the ground. So if he survived the explosion, he probably did not survive the fall.
Yeah, and so Zuko's hanging on a vine at this point, just doing there. And then he comes back and is like, "Is everyone okay?"
Wait a minute. So when Zuko and Combustion Man were fighting, they were on the same cliffside, right?
I don't know.
And then he kicks him.
He might have been like a little higher up.
And then he falls to the vine. He's climbing back up to the same spot. But that whole spot Combustion Man was just on just blew to pieces and fell to the ground.
I don't know. He might have climbed up higher. That's what I'm gonna go with. That's most reasonable.
But yeah, Zuko's back at it again, and he climbs up, and then Aang goes, "Hey, thanks, you saved our life," and not giving credit to Sokka at all for throwing his boomerang. And basically killing Combustion Man.
Yeah,
Zuko did nothing.
Yeah, Sokka is the hero of the story, and he doesn't get any credit.
No, and he even says that he's like, "What about me? I did the boomerang thing," and then he dabs or whatever he does.
What are you talking about?
It looks like he dabbed.
Oh, I don't even know. Probably not.
It looks like he dabbed.
But then they like talk it over, and
dumb.
What does Zuko says something to make Aang like come around. Oh, so Zuko's explaining exactly what happened with Toph, and he's really sorry for doing that. But sometimes fire is hard to control, and so he didn't mean to exactly burn her, and that resonates with Aang because when he first was starting to do any fire at all, he burnt Katara. And so he's like, maybe you are the one to train me because you realize that fire can get out of control too.
I still hate that part of the
episode.
episode.
It's pretty dumb.
Like he puts off bending
it's Katara's
fire
fault
for 2 seasons. Katara was in the way.
Yeah, it's your fault.
And Aang was just having fun with fire. Like you should know. Like you don't stand your face in front of somebody who's welding or lighting off a bottle rocket or something.
Because you're gonna get burnt. Exactly.
And that's dumb to me. And she's like, "Oh, what are you doing, Aang? You messing with fire there? That's cool. Okay. Oh, you burned me."
And then
Sokka
pushes Aang to the ground, even though it's his dumb sister's fault.
Yeah, and then she immediately heals herself, and Aang swears off firebending forever.
Yeah.
Even as soon as she healed herself.
Ridiculous.
Like, it wasn't a big deal. If you would have, had blue flames and, cut her arm off, she can't heal that. That'd have been a big deal.
Can she? Can she grow an arm back?
Really cool. She's had, a water arm for, the rest of the season.
Do we know, like Aquaman?
I don't know.
Do we know, if she can grow an arm back?
Does she have the superpowers?
Well, no, her healing. What's the extent of her healing? Because she couldn't barely heal her father, who just got a little burnt on his stomach.
Because she sucks.
Yeah,
but Katara's the worst.
She's very bad in this episode. I hate her, and because she also comes back. So after Aang hears that Zuko is trying to control the fire just like he wants to, he says, "Yeah, I'll go ahead and let you train me." And Katara's against it, Sokka says that if that's what Aang wants to do, then he'll stand behind him.
Yeah, they do a dumb little thing where Aang goes, "Hey, I'm okay with this," and it's his decision.
Yeah.
He's the Avatar. They're all following him. He's the leader, and they're like, "Yeah, okay. It's okay with me if it's okay with you guys. Like, my friends.
Is it
okay
cool?
I gotta check with my friends real quick.
If I got a tray for fries for the table, would you all eat some?
I surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just dumb. It's your decision, Aang. You're the one that has to learn how to firebend.
And Toph was on board with it to begin with.
Yeah, and
so I don't know why he had to ask her again, because it's already been established it was clearly her fault that she got burnt.
I think Katara at this point is the only one who's adamantly against it.
Yeah, Sokka just wants to defeat the Fire Lord. He's like, and he says that. He's like, I just want to defeat the Fire Lord.
Which
I don't care.
I do kind of understand where Katara's coming from, even though I still think she's wrong, because she does bring up that when they were down in the caves in the Earth Nation, that in Ba Sing Se, that Zuko was like acting regular and like he had changed and then betrayed her.
He had. At that point in time, he had.
Yeah, we understand
but
that.
To her, he made a decision because he still had not received his honor yet.
Yeah.
And he, which is this weird tangible thing apparently.
Yeah.
But he still had not gotten to that point yet. He still had not understood that, he hadn't gone into the Fire Nation back home.
He started the
Started
transformation.
questioning himself. Yeah, he started the transformation.
He'd already started to change, and it wasn't until he got what he thought he wanted that he realized that that's not at all what he wanted. So I see where Katara's coming from there, but I still think she's being a little bit dumb about it.
Like, she was personally betrayed by Zuko. Like, she had given him a chance. She's like, hey, okay, I'm going to give Zuko a chance. And then he betrayed her, and she took that the hardest because they had actually had intimate conversations.
And I also think this is a little different because he is seeking out, whereas that one he was thrust into that situation.
But we still got to see the good of Zuko in that situation.
Yeah.
And then he made the wrong choice at the end.
Yeah, so afterwards they've got like rooms in the air temple, and they give Zuko his room, and Katara comes in and is like, hey, if you ever like hurt Aang, I'll kill you. Those exact words.
Yeah, don't get me started. I thought that was really dumb. They're like, Zuko's here to murder them, and they didn't use the word murder. Is it dumb? I don't want to get into it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that's where the episode ends, right? Is with her threatening Zuko.
Yes.
I think
it is.
Okay. So let's do some trivia, Harley.
Let's do some trivia.
Do you have a sound effect for trivia?
No.
No. Is that? Okay, so first piece of trivia we got here. This episode was part of an event called Countdown to the Comet. New episodes of Avatar began airing on July 4th, starting with the Western Air Temple, followed by the Firebending Masters, and the next two episodes, Boiling Rock Part 1 and 2. I don't know why this is a piece of trivia, because it just states the episodes coming up. But this was the first episode to be aired after an 8-month hiatus.
8?
That would be terrible.
Month hiatus.
So yeah, and this is like we're coming up to the end of the series.
And this is the problem I had with Avatar, the timeline. Not that it's not convoluted at all like X-Men timeline. It's fine, but in real life, I like watching a show that's 3 seasons long air over 3 years. Like,
yeah,
the first season would be 1 year, the second season would be 2 years, the third season would be the third year. This 8-month hiatus wouldn't make it work, but obviously because the next thing that they've already established is Sozin's Comet coming up, and they've already established what's going to happen. But I don't know, that frustrated me. All this happens in the span of 1 year, like all 3 seasons happens in 1 year.
I think it's fine,
and that frustrates me.
And
I wanted to see them grow physically and like spiritually and emotionally. I think that'd be really cool.
I think that the 3 years would have felt too long. Because hold on. I think that there's like a time crunch sort of feel where, wow, they have so little time to actually get Aang prepared. They've got like 3 months to actually get him prepared, like to fight the Fire Lord. And I think it's cool because if it would have been a span over 3 years, then it would have been like, oh,
You think it wouldn't have landed as well?
I don't think so, because I feel like that the fact that there is so little time to do it just adds to it just heightens everything.
I can see that. I still hate it, but I can see that.
Okay, good. At least we agree on that. So according to Nickelodeon, Combustion Man did die after Sokka's boomerang hit his head because the impact closed his third eye chakra, causing him to explode when he uses power. So that goes back to sort of when Aang opened his chakras, they did mention the third eye chakra. So that's where his power comes from. Apparently it's not fire. He's just like releasing energy from his body. I
That's
guess.
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And we will get into more of that. Okay, so due to the spread of unaired episode titles onto the web, this episode was called Zuko's Cool. While it was being worked onto the foil leaks. Onto foil leaks? Two foil leaks.
That's such a bland name.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess no, but that's just a fake name they put out there to like throw everybody off.
Well, like you like this is dumb. You ever delve into like the High School Musical series?
No. What are you talking about?
Everything has a working title. Like Zuko's Cool.
Yeah.
A working title, but they did it like to throw off leaks.
Well, I don't even think it was the working title. I think that's just something they put out there.
It might have been a scenario where they're like Zuko's Cool. Like go work on Zuko's Cool or write this for Zuko's Cool. Like it would have been passed around the office. But so High School Musical was their working title. And they never
High School Musical was the
working title. Like you transform into what you want it to be, but
they're just like, no, this is good. We got it.
Like it was what Luke Starkiller and Guardian of the Wheels or whatnot, and then it turned into Star Wars. But they have working titles and they transform. But High School Musical was just High School Musical from the beginning.
That's ridiculous.
So they couldn't think of anything better.
And it's perfect.
Let's turn this High School Musical into a High School Musical.
Although this is Combustion Man's last appearance in the series, his real name was never revealed. So we don't
Zuko
even get
was
it
so
at
close
all.
to revealing
Yeah,
it.
because they're like, oh, so you sick Combustion Man on us. Well, that's not his name, but and then he gets cut off and doesn't finish it. Like, just tell us what his name is.
We do get another version of him, maybe an ancestor or something, or not an ancestor, sorry, a relative, I meant to say, of his, or somebody that has that same kind of chakra power in Korra. And she's pretty cool.
Okay, so although despite what she said, Toph never tried to get back at Zuko for burning her feet.
Good, because she was in the wrong. Maybe she realized that the next episode, she's like, well, I was in the wrong. I can't go back at him for that. I'm sorry for saying stupid things.
Okay, so apparently the creators of the show said they wanted to add a scene where Teo, Haru, and the Duke explored the temple, but they didn't have time for it, which good, because that would have been awful while all this stuff is going on. If we just see them walking around.
They weren't part of our key characters.
We don't even like these characters.
I wouldn't have cared about them. Like, you're forcing these other characters who had their own episodes in this. I wouldn't have liked it anyways. I'm glad it didn't happen.
Another thing, are Katara and Aang not even going to talk? That they sucked face before the attack on.
They haven't mentioned that yet.
They haven't said a single thing.
But it is directly after the attack, and they are being attacked by Combustion Man. They do have bigger
fish
to fry now.
They walked through the desert. Like, what were they doing? What were they talking about during that? I don't know.
It's giving each other awkward looks. Like, everybody's just giving each other awkward looks as they walk. They're like, I'm not going to say anything about Katara sucking Aang's face.
Well, they didn't. Nobody else knows about it.
You don't think anybody else knows about it?
No, definitely not.
I bet Sokka knows about it.
No, he doesn't.
I bet he does.
No, Sokka's an idiot.
Wow, take that back.
I will not. You need to talk into your mic also.
I'm stretching.
Okay, so with that, let's move on to the next episode.
Which is called
The Firebending Masters. I really like this episode. It's pretty cool.
This is my second favorite episode of the series.
Is it really?
I love when Aang and Zuko get together.
Yeah,
I love
it's really
to see
cool.
our protagonist and antagonist do things together.
Well, ex-antagonist.
Nah.
You're just gonna, he's still the villain of the series. He's in the group.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, this one's really cool. One of my favorites. I don't know. We ought to do a definitive list of our favorite episodes.
We should. We might do that at the end of the year.
But I always thought this was up there. So this is actually, we start out with Zuko starting to train Aang.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, what does he say at the very beginning? Because he kind of intimidates him. He said if you can't control it, it'll chew you up and spit you out like a...
Yeah.
Like, he makes some weird hybrid animal reference. But I thought that was pretty funny. And then he goes to do firebending, and it goes... and it makes no fire.
And he really can't. So we figure out that, for some reason, the events of the last episode, or like him going into the light, have caused him to not be able to firebend.
He's been fully embraced now by the characters, and that might be a weird scenario for him.
And so I think it's like tied to anger.
Similar to that episode where he, made that one decision, whatever it was, to free the bison.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he made that decision, and he was sick, and he was in that coma,
yeah.
whatever, which is cool, because in that episode we got to see the red and blue dragon.
Yeah.
Oops.
Spoilers.
But in this episode we also get to see the red and blue dragon. That's pretty cool. I never thought about that.
Yeah. Oh, I even mentioned that while we were watching it.
Yeah, you did, but I didn't think that was the thing.
Don't listen to the blue dragon, Zuko. But
it was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Disrespectful, but beautiful.
It's not disrespectful. It's just a quote. But anyway, Zuko he's teaching Aang all these patterns, but he doesn't really have any force behind it because he can't show him what it's supposed to be. And he's like creating just a little bit of fire every now and then. But we get a lot of Toph backstory up next because they try to figure out why or how to get Zuko's fire back.
Yeah, so Toph establishes that. Well, she's like, well, I learned from the badger moles, which has been said multiple times from your point.
But we actually get to see it.
Yeah. Did she ever actually say it in this series until this episode? Because I know you've said it a lot, but I don't recall it being said in season 1 or season 2.
I don't know. They might. Well, it definitely wasn't said in season 1.
Thank you.
They might not have said it, and that's just like outside information.
It's something you just knew from season 3, but you just incorporated it in.
Yeah.
But anyways,
probably.
So it shows her backstory of her meeting the badger moles. It looks like she's about to get eaten in a tunnel. She's a small child. She runs away from home or something, and then they teach her earthbending.
Yeah, so she's learning directly from the inventors of earthbending.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So they decide that they need to go back to the original inventors of firebending, which are the dragons. But the dragons have been destroyed.
Because the Fire Nation had wiped them all out for some stupid reason.
For sport.
Like trophy hunting, I guess.
Yeah, it was if you could destroy a dragon, you became
a
known
dragon.
as a dragon.
Yeah, which is where Iroh gets his name, the Dragon of the West.
Dragon of the West. And so they realized that Iroh was the very last one to hunt down a dragon.
Yeah, so Toph's explaining how like the badger moles, she's not just learning earthbending just for earthbending. It's like a way of life, basically. And so that gives Zuko an idea. He's going to go find out what are they called? The Temple of the Sun or
something like that, yeah.
The Cult of the Sun or something.
The Cult of
Apparently they were the first firebenders because they learned from the dragons. So they're going to go to some of the ruins. He's going to take Aang there, and they're going to try to get his fire back. And I guess they just know where the ruins are. Like, that's just a thing that they know.
Maybe it's like a known thing, like we know where Machu Picchu is. Oh my god!
I don't know where Machu Picchu. Are you okay there, Harley? I don't know where Machu Picchu is.
Oh,
South America?
I think so.
I guess.
I think I knew where Machu Picchu was at one time. Why did I just forget? Why did my one example?
Is it in Peru?
Peru sounds right.
Something like Argentina.
I don't know.
But yeah, they seek out the sun ruins or whatever they're called. And it's pretty cool because it's got a real like Aztec or Mayan vibe. Reminds me a lot of Road El Dorado.
I love that movie. Didn't just go well with the critics.
What are you talking about?
It didn't score so well with the critics.
Oh, well, that's not what this podcast is about.
It can be though. Let's change it up.
Or just watch Road to El Dorado every week. But yeah, they are coming across all these different these places and booby traps. We find out that there's a lot of booby traps, sort of very very reminiscent to Indiana Jones.
Actually, the very first booby trap is spikes, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they come out of the walls though. It's in the ground.
So this one comes out of the ground.
Yeah,
but it's very reminiscent. Yeah.
So yeah, and Aang and Zuko, they're walking down this like corridor or whatever, and I guess they step on a pressure plate while they're walking, and the ground drops out, and there's just spikes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
no, it's not a pressure plate; it's a tripwire.
Okay, tripwire.
And Aang trips it, and good thing he's a airbender.
Yeah, if it would have been Zuko,
if
it would have been Zuko, he'd be dead now.
Impaled.
Yeah. Funny. So they do set up that there are traps in this place, and they come across like an idol or something in one of the rooms.
Yeah, there's a very big like open like cavernous room, and they walk in there and there's statues in a circle doing this kind of dance thing.
They look like moves.
Yeah, and so Aang's like, hey, he says, hey Zuko, dance with me, and so he's like, what?
What?
And so they both stand, opposite each other, and they start doing the dance in their own half circle. And so when they get to the end, they do this weird thing where they put their hands together, and I don't know if it reminded me of some other show. I can't remember what it was. If it was like Super Twins Unite or something like that. That was the Rings Together, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it might have been some other anime show. I can't remember. But they do that, and then this little idol pops out of the center, and it has a golden egg, which is very reminiscent of Indiana Jones again.
Uh-huh.
And they pick it up, and then
there's like tar or something.
The door closes, and then tar starts filling the place up, and Zuko immediately gets shot into the air. I don't know how.
It's a good thing that there's like a little vent up at the top of the room so they can breathe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like they're just going to be trapped there, I guess. And so Aang is screaming for help, and Zuko's like, "Nobody's lived here for thousands of years," or something. And then there's nightfall, and the cult of the sun, or I don't even what do they call it?
I can't remember. I was looking that up, but I totally forgot.
Yeah, they come, and apparently they've been there the entire time, just been hidden. Sun Warriors.
Sun Warriors.
That's what it's called. So yeah, and they got a sort of an Aztec or like a Incan or Mayan vibe to them. Also, the way they're
Incan. I would say Incan.
The geometric shapes that their face have been painted and stuff like that. I think the clothes that they're wearing are a little bit different, but I think they're more Asian.
I really like it though. We get more than what the Asian culture, more than Asian culture in this series.
Yes,
which we talked about that in earlier in the episode about Korra. And that's what we like about Korra. There was a very small amount of Asian culture in there.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a little while though, a couple weeks
eventually. Will it actually be a couple weeks? How close are we to the end of this?
I think we have 3 episodes left after this, maybe.
Well, we have the Boiling Rock Part 1 and Part 2.
Okay, so that's going to be 1 episode.
And then we have Southern Scotland next? No.
No. There's some in the middle between that. Because we still got to see, like, Toph going out with Zuko.
Toph doesn't do Zuko things.
Does she not?
Katara does, though.
Doesn't Sokka? Oh, Sokka that's Boiling Rock. So, yeah, so I'm thinking, yeah. Katara. Anyway, we'll figure
we got a few more episodes under our belt, and then we're going to transition into Korra.
Hopefully.
Be prepared for that, guys.
Yeah, so where were we at now? Oh, yeah, the Sun Warriors sort of explain kind of what they're doing there, and they actually offer to help Zuko get his fire back. But there is a catch.
He has to meet the masters.
Yeah, they apparently there's 2 masters who have completely mastered the art of firebending.
Ran and Shaw.
So they're going to pass judgment on Zuko and Aang, and they have to go through sort of a ritual in order to get the fire, get the knowledge from them.
Test, if you will. So they bestow upon them, the Sun Warriors bestow upon Zuko and Aang a little.
They give him like a flame.
Flame.
It's probably been going for a long time. It's like a symbolic thing,
and they have to maintain that flame all the way to the top of the mountain to meet the masters. And Aang's is going out, like it's very small flame. The guy says, or the Sun Warrior chief says, if it's small, it will go out, and if you make it too big, you might lose control. Yeah. And when it says that, it shows Aang. He looks at Aang and he says, "If you make it too small, it'll go out." He looks at Zuko and says, "Yeah." So that's pretty cool. There's symbolism there because Zuko's crazy and Aang is very unfamiliar with fire.
Yeah, and Aang at this point has had very little experience with fire. The only thing he's ever done is with whatever the guy's name was, Zhu or something. Zhang.
He's never created fire, has he?
Zhang.
Aang has been given fire both times.
Yes. He has not created it yet. But he's really struggling while they're going up the mountain. I think it almost goes out a couple times. Does he end up taking some from Zuko?
No, he complains that it's because Zuko says, "Hurry up! We had to get there right now." And he goes, Aang says, "If I move any faster, it's going to go out." Yeah. So they finally get there, and then
they get up to the top, and
Aang's does go out.
The Sun Warriors are waiting on them. So I think Aang got into the place that he needed to be before it went out.
Yeah, he didn't go all the way to the Masters though.
No, but the Sun Warriors are all standing around like in a circle, waiting on them up at the top of the mountain.
And they play the outro.
Yeah, which is really cool. So they announce, like, the leader guy of the Sun Warriors says, "You have to go meet the Masters now, and they're going to judge you on like your heritage." And then character or something like that. There's a couple different things.
Something like that. Your lineage, I think, is what he says.
Yeah, your lineage. And Aang is like, okay, well, I got this. I'm the Avatar. And the master of the Sun Warriors are like, didn't you forget that you left for 100 years? And people needed you and you weren't there.
If you would have still been around, then most likely the war would not have happened.
And the dragons.
And the dragons would not have been murdered by the Fire Nation.
Yeah. And so Aang's like, oh, well, maybe I don't have this. Maybe they're not gonna like what I've been up to.
He's like, yeah, you're right.
And Zuko and Aang are, at this point, they're formulating what's going to happen if they're judged wrong by the Masters. And Zuko's like, I think we can take a couple old dudes. So they end up walking up to the top, and they do end up playing the Sun Warriors are playing the outro music from the show, which is really, and I never noticed before while watching it, and I think that I just noticed it because of the podcast.
Because we use it every single.
And so yeah, we've been watching so many episodes. It's just it's really cool that how they did that.
But yeah, so the game after that, while it's still playing Avatar. God bless America.
Yep.
Aang and Zuko walk up the stairs, and they are on this little bridge type thing up in the middle.
And there's like two caves off to the side with like pathways.
And Aang's fire goes out, and he starts yelling at Zuko, saying, "Hey, let me borrow some of your flames." Doesn't go out, and he's like, "No, stop cheating off me. You know, get away from me." And it's pretty funny because we hear it off in the distance from the perspective of the Sun Warriors, and they're kind of like, "Oh my lord, children!" And one of the guys says, "You know, it's time for the masters to eat," and Zuko's flame goes out. And then you see eyes show up in the cavern, and then two dragons fly out.
A red and a blue dragon
of each opposing cavern, and they start like flying all the way around them, doing this. I don't know, beautiful. I don't know, flying. I don't know what in sync. I don't know what it'll be. But
they're doing like a choreographed. They're flying like around the platform.
It's beautiful,
up and down and left and right and stuff like that.
So Aang just kind of looks at him and looks at Zuko, and he goes, "I think they want us to dance." And Zuko's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, I don't know, but they want us to do something." So they start doing the dance that they learned previously in the little small cavern where they got the idol from, which it never goes back to the idol thing, does it?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what the idol is.
You think it might have been a dragon egg? Because Zuko does
probably
feel it.
Not.
Zuko
he did say
it feels almost alive.
Huh? Yeah, it could have been.
That'd be cool.
Because you'd think the dragons would repopulate.
We'll go back into that later. I'll have a question for you after the show.
Okay.
That you guys can't hear, so take that. So they start doing the dance, and then the dragons get together and they breathe these beautiful colors.
Oh yeah.
It's blue and green and red and yellow and orange, and it's fire, and there's some pink in there, and it's just this whirlwind of fire above Zuko and Aang.
And it's around them too. They're they're in the middle of it, looking up through. It's like a tornado.
And Zuko says something like, "I understand."
Yeah.
And so they finally get it, and then they ran and Shaw fly back into their caves, and it was a beautiful scene.
It was really cool.
Like, because when it shows Aang and Zuko dancing, I can't remember who gets who's dragon, but when Aang does some moves in the background, you see the dragon flying alongside him, and then when it's Zuko,
and it's like sort of mirroring the dragon's move.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's really cool.
It is really cool.
Another reason why I like this episode because I love dance numbers.
Yeah, and so Zuko understands fire now. I think the way Aang describes it is there's like a sun inside you, and you've just got to temper the flame. So the heat is there, and it's up to you to let it out.
Well, he even says, because fire is all about breathing too. Firebending is.
Yeah.
And Aang even says when he gets handed a little piece of fire at the very beginning, it's almost like it's alive, or something like that. He might not say it's like it's breathing. I think is what he says. And I think that's really cool because firebending is all about breath. Uncle Iroh said it. Zuko has said it. I think it's really neat. I don't know.
Yeah, and so we actually also find out how the dragons had survived, because we thought that Iroh had killed the last dragon. Isn't that explained?
Yeah,
he was the one to take out the last dragon. I said it
earlier. Yeah, he was supposedly the one who took out the last dragon, and that made him the dragon of the West. And Aang even says, "Well, I thought your uncle was, a good guy," and which I hate because I like seeing Uncle Iroh as pure and good. And Zuko goes, "He had a complicated past."
Yeah,
I guess it runs in the family.
But we find out he didn't really, because he actually didn't kill the dragons. He just said he did.
Yeah, he learned from them. He learned from them and then kept their place hidden secret, which is
super awesome. I love that about Iroh.
What the Chief Warrior Sunset dude thing he says, whatever his name is.
So I wonder if he had, that was the point where he turned his life around. Learning from the dragons. He probably went there to be
recognizing that he wasn't supposed to murder the dragons because they were the original Fire
and then they taught him, and he's like, wow, this is so much more than what the Fire Nation is.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because it's really a spiritual thing that they encounter.
Maybe.
I wonder if that's how it was with Toph.
The Badger moles and stuff?
Yeah. Was it like a spiritual thing also?
Because like you said earlier, she says it's a way of living.
Yeah, which is really cool that they throw that aspect, and that's actually one of the favorite things about Korra. There's an episode where we get to see, sort of the initial learning of the elements by a guy, and that was a really cool thing for me.
I guess I don't remember that.
Juan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
Played by Stephen Yin.
Yes. So yeah, then they Aang and Zuko go back to the temple, the air temple, which luckily they were so close to the Sun Warriors.
Yeah, it was a small trip.
Because I don't even think they took Appa.
No, I think they walked.
Yeah.
Did he have the blimp?
Oh yeah.
You think he used the blimp?
They might have.
They used the blimp for Sokka's episode.
Yeah. Thanks for watching ahead on those too.
Well, I would have just known that because
maybe
I knew it to begin with.
Okay, whatever.
But it was worth it.
Yeah, so they go back and they are talking to everyone, explaining sort of what they went through.
And they get made fun of.
Yeah.
For seeing real dragons.
They do their cool dragon dance thing. That's like a really cool fire move. And then who is it? Katara? Probably Katara.
Laughing.
It's like, come on.
She's like, and what's your little dance move called? Or what's your little dance move called?
Oh yeah, because they try to explain that it's not a dance, it's a firebending pattern.
And Zuko says that it's called the Dance of the Dragons.
Yeah.
Like that.
Which they met real dragons, Katara.
Yeah, dragons that could eat you. I wish they would think of Katara so they could eat Katara.
And Katara would get eaten.
I hate Katara so
Yeah,
much.
she's not good. But is there anything after that?
No, they laugh. They call the Dance of the Dragons, and that's the end of the episode, I do believe.
Okay, so let's get into some trivia. Harley, want to play the trivia theme? Is that I don't know about that. What's it even mean?
All right. We'll give you 3 options here.
Okay, 3 options. I'll pick from one. Yeah. I don't like any one of those. Not a single one.
Those are all terrible.
Okay, this episode was part... Okay, you're going to have to knock that off now. This episode was part of an... Mute? This episode was part of an event called Countdown. This is the same thing. I don't want to read that again. Oh, I hate you. Iroh stated to Zuko in bitter work that firebending is fueled by rage and emotion, despite having known the true motivation behind the bending art.
Wait, what?
So I guess we didn't talk about that, and we missed it in the episode. So apparently, firebending is not fueled by rage and emotion, but rather by like life. I think is what it was.
Okay, I thought you said despite not having known.
Oh no.
It says despite having known. I was super confused because I just put one word in there that didn't belong.
Oh. When Zuko is about to raise the golden artifact, Aang states that he is very suspicious of giant glowing gems sitting on pedestals, most likely alluding to a similar situation concerning the booby-trapped golden idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Weird.
Not really.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. So
Yeah.
It's weird that we just
Ran and Shaw resemble the red and blue dragons from Zuko's fever-induced dream in Ba Sing Se. So far we've said all of these.
We have.
The Sun Wars architecture resembles the Indian Buddhist stupas and Tibetan monasteries.
Wow, we didn't say either one of those.
No, I got more of an Aztec
So did I.
vibe. The bowing gesture demonstrated by the Sun Warriors during Ran and Shaw's judgment is identical to the bowing gesture demonstrated by Kwan's students in the headband.
Who is Kwan?
He was...
What was the headband?
The headband is the one where it's
Aang goes to school?
Yeah, it's Footloose.
I'm with you.
So I guess that's where some of the culture of the Fire Nation comes from, is the Sun Warriors, because they were the original firebenders.
They were. That's a big influence on the Fire Nation because it's the Fire Nation.
Yeah. The final move of the Dancing Dragon is reminiscent to the fusion move in Dragon Ball Z.
Ah, that's what I was referencing earlier, but I do not think I ever watched Dragon Ball Z.
I never did.
Strangely enough.
The entire Dancing Dragon form bears a striking resemblance to the real-life Long Ying Mo Koi, the traditional Southern Dragon Kung Fu style.
That's neat. I want to learn that.
So Southern Dragon, that's exactly.
What if I just became really good at martial arts? What if I just learned all the martial arts?
I don't know what you want. What do you mean? What if you did that?
How cool would that be?
Pretty cool.
Like, what if I just learned all the moves in Avatar?
Wouldn't happen.
And then became an actual bender?
No.
And bent things?
Eternal flames are common to many ancient religions. In particular, the Hebrew Bible commands that the altar flame must never go out. The Sun Warriors also seem to have a shofar, a musical horn made from a ram's horn that is used to announce religious ceremonies.
Peculiar.
So they're like a cult.
Basically.
Yeah. That's it for the trivia. Play us out. That's the wrong one. Wait. Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm not good at this yet. We'll figure it out later.
That's all we have, though. I think the next one, I'm super excited about the next episodes.
Because of the Boiling Rock?
Boiling Rock Part 1 and 2, which is such a cool thing. So much happens.
They're really good episodes. I like them both.
Stick around for next week. It's going to be an action-packed episode, I guess.
You come back, kids.
Yeah, as always, I've been Caleb Bader.
And I'm Harley Davis.
And we'll see you here next week. Bye. You really need to wait on the buys.
I'm not gonna.
Because I have to put the music in between there.